Doing, guys? It's Friday, and I don't give a flying hoot what's going on in the rest of the world, but we're going to have a good time tonight. Regardless of what's going on with the WotC BS, I don't really care. I don't play Magic the Gathering, and somebody else had mentioned that, well, I'm not going to buy Dragonlance books because of WotC. No, they ain't got nothing to do with it, okay? I bought my stuff 30 years ago, okay? And I'll continue to buy Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman's books. It has nothing to do with any of that garbage, okay? So, as far as I'm concerned, it's all good with the Dragonlance fans. All right, guys, I came across some good stuff last night. I was on Internet Archive, and I came across the original issues of Dragon Magazine that were published, as a matter of fact, last month and this month in 1984. Okay, that's how long ago that was, but they were published in March and May of 1984, and they were two of the first Dragonlance stories. I actually got them and printed them out, and I'm going to read them out for you tonight. I'm going to play a little bit of some Dragonlance games. I'll fire up a Dragonlance game or two. We're going to have a hell of a time. All right, let me go ahead and make sure that we're rolling here. That way I'm not looking like an asshole here. You know how this goes. This is Joe's stream here. Okay? Going to be a good show. Okay. All righty. Let's see here. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? And yep, we're rolling, rocking, and rolling. Secondary cam's on, and we're ready to roll. Okay, guys, I printed a whole bunch. I printed some stuff out yesterday. It wasn't a lot to have to print. It was only like maybe 2 or 3 pages at best. Okay, but I figured I'd go ahead and do this. I was on Twitter, and I had read something that somebody had the balls to write Margaret Weiss and say that they weren't going to buy her books because it was related because it WotC owned the Dragonlance IP. I'd have told her the stuff, and I'd have said, well, bye. The thing, what's his face said in Tombstone. Well, bye. No. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry, but there's 30 years worth of Dragonlance. Poor Margaret Weiss has absolutely nothing to do with WotC or any of their bullshit. It's okay. You can buy Dragonlance books. Anything, okay? No matter what it is. 5th edition, whatever. Just buy Dragonlance, okay? Screw the rest of this shit. Don't worry about it. Read and buy what you want. Don't be a child, okay? I don't even like Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast can lick my balls, okay? But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to burn a bridge to avoid a mud puddle. That's a strategy of a fool. You don't need to be preached at. All right. Enough BS, guys. It's going to be a great show. In just a second here. All right. We'll move it around here. Okay. Oh, okay. Move this down like here. And then we're going to. Okay, guys, we're back. Ready to rock and roll. All right, have a look-see here. Look what I got. All right. What we got here. This is some stuff that I printed out yesterday. We've got the Dragon Strike, which is the Flying Citadel. It just explains what they are. The Flying Citadels are very important, especially in Dragonlance. Okay. They were originally land-bound fortresses, but some powerful black robe mages and dark clerics have learned the secret of ripping them from the ground and holding them aloft. In ancient times, good forces have been known to possess the required magics, having set the floating tomb of Durkin and the now lost floating palace of Foghaven Vale into the air. So that's how they did it. Durkin's tomb was built before the Cataclysm. Later, the gold dragon, Evenstar, came to the tomb to guard the Hammer of Karaz, whose recent discovery has allowed the armies of good to once again forge the magical Dragonlances. The success of flying citadels in the War of the Lance is well known. The dragon armies have used the citadels to deadly effect with these floating fortresses. The armies of evil can move their troops to key parts of the campaigns without exposing them to attack, the elements, or fatigue. The movable fortifications offer great tactical advantages during battles, and the sight of these airborne artifacts is extremely demoralizing to opposing ground troops. Attacking these evil bastions has been a high priority for the good dragon forces. The Solamnic strategists are determined to destroy this dragon army advantage and take the high ground on all fronts. Citadels are always protected by contingents of archers. So there you go. Princess I, look at that damn logo. All right, guys, here's the treat for you tonight. What I got for you, and I don't know if I'm going to do Raceland and the Night of Solamnia, because otherwise it's about 6 pages. However, I do have it. We're going to at least read in March of 1984, Margaret Weiss premiered Test of the Twins in Dragon magazine. Okay. There was Test of the Twins and A Stone's Throw Away. All right. Both of these are actually mentioned in DL5, okay, which is the source book, okay, for the Dragonlance saga. These 2 stories, they're both mentioned, okay. They're very short, okay. Now I can imagine the crunch. No wonder that the ending was somewhat altered originally from what Margaret Weiss intended, considering the fact that they had to squeeze it down. This has got an ad in between it. When I printed it out, I actually printed it out. It's so small, there's not much to it. But it is the Test of the Twins. I'll go ahead and read it for you. Okay? And then we got A Stone's Throw Away. This one, I do believe, was published in one of the Dragonlance books itself. That was the one about the woolly mammoth. I think it's got the mammoth in here. But, yeah, he gets the magic ring. But I printed this out. But I found it on Internet Archive. Issue, well, one is May 1984. One is issue number 83. The Test of Twins was 83. I think this one was number 85. Okay. But I printed those out. It's hard to believe that those came out how many years ago to the day? 1984, because I'm 40 right now, so these things come out about 38 years ago, something like that. Roundabouts, that's a long time. That's a long, long time, man. Jeez. Okay. I won't rub it in. Okay. Here we go, guys. The Test of the Twins. The twins, Caramon, Left, and Raceland, are central characters in the Dragonlance saga. In this short story, the young mage Raceland must pass great tests devised by long-dead sages and wizards. The outcome proves devastating for both Raceland and his brother. Okay. Should I add atmosphere music to it? Nah, I can't. The magician and his brother rode through the mist toward the secret place. We shouldn't have come, Caramon muttered. His large, strong hand was on the hilt of his great sword, and his eyes searched every shadow. I've been in many dangerous places, but nothing to equal this. Raceland glanced around. He noticed dark, twisted shadows and heard strange sounds. They will not bother us, brother, he said gently. We have been invited. They are guardians who keep out the unwanted. He did, however, draw his red robes closer around his thin body and moved to ride near Caramon. Mages invited us, and I don't trust them, Caramon scowled. Raceland glanced at him. Does that include me, dear brother? Yes, softly. Caramon did not reply. Although twins, the 2 brothers could not have been more different. Raceland, frail and sickly magician and scholar, pondered this difference frequently. They were one whole man, split in 2. Caramon the body, Raceland the mind. As such, the 2 needed and depended on each other far more than other brothers. But in some ways it was an unwholesome dependence, for it was as if each was incomplete without the other. At least this was how it seemed to Raceland. He bitterly resented whatever gods had played such a trick which cursed him with a weak body when he longed for mastery over others. He was thankful that at least he had been granted the skills of a magician. It gave him the power he craved. These skills almost made him equal of his brother. Caramel, strong and muscular, a born fighter, always laughed heartily whenever Raceland discussed their differences. Cameron enjoyed being his little brother's protector, but although he was very fond of Raceland, Cameron pitied his weaker twin. Unfortunately, Cameron had a tendency to express his brotherly concern in unthoughtful ways. He often let his pity show, not realizing it was like a knife twisting at his brother's soul. Cameron admired his brother's skill as a magician, as one admires a festival juggler. He did not treat it seriously or respectfully. Cameron had met neither man nor monster that could be handled by the sword. Therefore, he could not understand this dangerous trip his brother was undertaking for the sake of his magic. It's all parlor tricks, Raced, Cameron protested. Riding into that forsaken land is nothing to risk our lives over. Raceland replied gently. He always spoke gently to Cameron. That he was determined on his course of action for reasons of his own, and that Cameron could come if he so chose. Of course, Cameron went. The two had rarely been separated from one another since their birth. The journey was long and hazardous. Cameron's sword was frequently drawn. Raceland felt his strength ebbing. They were near the end now. Raceland rode in silence, oppressed with the doubt and fear that shrouded him as it had when he first decided on this course of action. Perhaps Cameron was right. Perhaps he was risking their lives needlessly. It had been 3 months ago when the head of the order arrived at his master's home. Parsalian had invited Raceland to visit with him as he dined, much to the master's surprise. When did you take the test, Raceland? The old man asked the conjurer. Test? Raceland repeated, startled. No need to ask which test. There was only one. He is not ready, Parsalian, his master protested. He is young, only 21. His spell book is far from complete. Yes, Parsalian interrupted, his eyes narrowing, but you believe you are ready, don't you, Raceland? Raceland had kept his eyes lowered, in the proper show of humility, his hood drawn over his face. Suddenly he threw back his hood and lifted his head, staring directly, proudly at Parsalian. I am ready, Great One. Raceland spoke coolly. Parsalian nodded, his eyes glittering. Begin your journey in 3 months' time, the old man said, then went back to eating his fish. Raceland's master gave him a furious glance, rebuking him for his impudence. Parsalian did not look at him again. The young conjurer bowed and left without a word. The servant let him out. However, Raceland slipped back through the unlocked door, cast a sleep smell upon the servant, and stood hidden in the alcove, listening to the conversation between his master and Parsalian. Oh, he's a sneaky little shit, ain't he? The order has never tested one so young, the master said, and you chose him. Of all my pupils, he is the most unworthy. I simply do not understand. You don't like him, do you? Parsalian asked mildly. No one does, the master snapped. There is no compassion in him, no humanity. He is greedy and grasping, difficult to trust. Do you know that his nickname among the other students is the Sly One? He absorbs from everyone's soul and gives back nothing of his own. His eyes are mirrors. They reflect all he sees in cold, brittle terms. Oh, so he's an edgelord. He is highly intelligent, Parsalian suggested. Oh, there's no denying that, the master sniffed. He is my best pupil, and he has a natural affinity for magic, not one of those surface users. Yes, Parsalian agreed. Raceland's magic springs from deep within. But it springs from a dark well, the master said, shaking his head. Sometimes I look at him and shudder, seeing the black robes fall upon him. That will be his destiny, I fear. I think not, Parsalian said thoughtfully. There's more to him than you see, though I admit he keeps it well hidden. More to him than he knows himself, I'll wager. The master sounded very dubious. Raceland smiled to himself, a twisted smile. It came as no surprise to learn his master's true feelings. Raceland sneered. Who cared, he thought bitterly. As for Parsalian, Raistlin shrugged it off. What of his brother? Parsalian asked. Raistlin, his ear pressed against the door, frowned. Ah, the master became effusive. Night and day. Caramon is handsome, honorable, trusting, everybody's friend. Theirs is a strange relationship. I have seen Raistlin watch Caramon with a fierce burning love in his eyes, and the next instant I have seen such hatred and jealousy. I think the young man can murder his twin without giving it a second thought. He coughed apologetically. Let me send you Algernon, Great One. He is not as intelligent as Raistlin, but his heart is true and good. Algernon is too good, Parsalian snorted. He has never known torment or suffering or evil. Set him in a cold, biting wind, and he will wither like a maiden's first rose. But Raistlin, well, one who constantly battles evil within will not be overly dismayed by evil without. One who constantly battles evil within will not be overly dismayed by evil without. Raistlin heard chairs scrape. Parsalian stood up. Let's not argue. I was given a choice to make, and I have made it. Forgive me, Great One. I did not mean to be contradictory, the master said, stiffly hurt. Raistlin heard Parsalian sigh wearily. You should be the one to apologize, old friend, he said. Forgive me. There is trouble coming upon us that the world may well not survive. This choice has been a heavy burden upon me. As you know, the test may well prove fatal to the young man. It has killed others more worthy, the master murmured. Their conversation turned to other matters, so Raistlin crept away. The young mage considered Parsalian's words many times during the weeks that followed while he prepared for his journey. Sometimes he would hug himself with pride at being chosen by the Great One to take the test, the greatest honor conferred on a magician. But at night, the words may well prove fatal, haunted his dreams. He thought as he drew near and near the towers about those who had not survived. Their belongings had been returned to their families without a single word, other than Parsalian's regrets. For this reason, many magicians did not take the test. After all, it gave no additional power. It added no spells to the spell book. One could practice magic quite well without it, and many did so. But they were not considered true magic users by their peers, and they knew it. The test gave a mage an aura that surrounded him, exuded from him. When entering the presence of others, this aura deeply felt by all, and therefore commanded respect. Raistlin hungered for that respect, but did he hunger for it enough to be willing to die to obtain it? There it is! Caramon interrupted his thoughts, reining his horse in sharply. The fabled towers of high sorcery, Raistlin said, staring in awe. The two tall stone towers resembled skeletal figures clawing out of the grave. We can turn back now, Caramon croaked, his voice breaking. Raistlin looked at his brother in astonishment, for the first time since he could remember. Raistlin saw fear in Caramon. The young conjurer felt an unusual sensation. A warmth spread over him. He reached out and put a steady hand on his brother's trembling arm. Do not be afraid, Caramon, Raistlin said. I am with you. Caramon looked at Raistlin, then laughed nervously to himself. He urged his horse forward. The two entered the tower. Vast stone walls and darkness swallowed them up. Then they heard the voice. Approach. The two walked ahead. Raistlin walked steadfastly, but Caramon moved warily, his hand on the hilt of his sword. They came to stand before a withered figure sitting in the center of a cold, empty chamber. Welcome, Raistlin, Parsalian said. Do you consider yourself prepared to undergo your final test? I do, Parsalian, greatest of them all. You gotta kiss his ass. Parsalian studied the young man before him. The conjurer's pale, thin cheeks were stained with a faint flush, as though fever burned in his blood. Who accompanies you? Parsalian asked. My twin brother Caramon, great mage. Raistlin's mouth twisted into a snarl. As you see, Great One, I am no fighter. My brother came to protect me. Parsalian stared at the brothers, reflecting on the odd humor of the gods. Twins? This Caramon is huge, 6 feet tall. He must weigh over 200 pounds. His face,
a face of smiles and boisterous laughter. The eyes are as open as his heart. Poor Raceland. Parsalian turned his gaze back to the young man whose red robes hung from the thin, stooped shoulders. Obviously weak, Raceland was one who could never take what he wanted, so he had learned, long ago. That magic could compensate for his deficiencies. Parsalian looked into the eyes. No, they were not mirrors, as the master had said, not for those with the power to see deeply. There was good inside the young man, an inner core of strength that would enable his fragile body to endure much. But now his soul was a cold, shapeless mass, dark with pride, greed, and selfishness. Therefore, as a shapeless mass of metal is plunged into white-hot fire and emerges shining steel, so Parsalian intended to forge this conjurer. Your brother cannot stay, the mage admonished softly. I am aware of that, great one, Raceland replied with a hint of impatience. He will be well cared for in your absence, Parsalian continued, and, of course, he will be allowed to carry home your valuables should the test prove beyond your skill. Carry home valuables. Caraman's face became grim as he considered this statement. Then it darkened as he understood the full meaning of the mage's words. You mean? Raceland's voice cut in sharp-edged. He means, dear brother, that you will take home my possessions in the event of my death. Parsalian shrugged. Failure invariably proves fatal. Yes, you're right. I forgot that death could be a result of this ritual. Caraman's face crumpled into wrinkles of fear. He laid his hand on his brother's arm. I think you should forget this race. Let's go home. Raceland twitched as his brother's touch, as his thin body shuddering. Do I counsel you to refuse battle? He flared. Then, controlling his anger, he continued more calmly. This is my battle, Caraman. Do not worry. I will not fail. Caraman pleaded. Please, Race, I'm supposed to take care of you. Leave me. Raceland's control cracked, splintered, wounding his brother. Caraman fell backward. All right. I'll meet you outside. I'll be outside. Damn it. He flashed the mage a threatening glance, then he turned and walked out of the chamber, his huge battle sword clanking against his thigh. A door thudded. Then there was silence. I apologize for my brother, Raceland said, his lips barely moving. Do you? Parsalian asked. Why? The young man scowled. Because he's always trying to protect me. Can we just get on with this? His hands clenched beneath the sleeves of his robe. Of course, the mage replied, leaning back in his chair. Raceland stood straight, eyes open and unblinking. Then he drew in a sharp breath. The mage made a gesture. There was a sound, a shattering crack. Quickly, the chunk conjurer vanished. A voice spoke from the nether regions. Why must we test this one so severely? Parsalian's twisted hands clasped and unclasped. Who questions the gods? He frowned. They demanded a sword. I found one. But his metal is white-hot. He must be beaten, tempered, made useful. And if he breaks, then we will bury the pieces, murmured the mage. Raceland dragged himself away from the dead body of the dark elf. Wounded and exhausted, he crawled into a shadowy corridor and slumped against a wall. Pain twisted him. He clutched his stomach and retched. When the convulsions subsided, he lay back on the stone floor and waited for death. See, they didn't tell about the events, okay? The events were later talked about in Soul Forge, which Margaret Weiss wrote about, and this thing by Terry Phillips. But from the story, you just see the aftermath, okay? All right? Now, let's continue. Raceland dragged himself away from the dead body of the Dark Elf. Now, the Dark Elf that they're talking about in this is not a drow. It just happens to be a magic user. Now, they talk about a drow in some of the literature, but a Dark Elf in Cran is just an elf that has strayed from the light, i.e., elven society. So it could be just anybody who is evil, an elf. Basically, it's just a dark elf. Okay. Wounded and exhausted, he crawled into a shady corridor and slept against a wall. Pain twisted him. He clutched his stomach and retched. When the convulsions subsided, he lay back on the stone floor and waited for death. Why are they doing this to me? He wandered through a dreamy haze of pain. Only a young conjurer, he had been subjected to trials devised by the most renowned mages, living and dead. The fact that he must pass these tests was no longer the main thought. Survival, however, was. Each trial had wounded him, and his health had always been precarious. If he survived this ordeal, and he doubted he would, he could imagine his body to be like a shattered crystal, held together by the force of his own will. But then, of course, there was Caramon, who would care for him, as always. Ha! He thought, penetrated the haze, even made Rafe, even made the thought penetrated the haze, even made Rayson laugh harshly. No, death was preferable to a life of total dependence on his brother. Rayson lay back on the stone floor, wondering how much longer they would let him suffer. And a huge figure materialized out of the shadowy, reckless darkness of the corridor. This is it, Rayson thought, my final test, the one I won't survive. He simply decided simply not to fight, even though he had one spell left. Maybe death would be quick and merciful. He lay on his back, staring at the dark shadow as it drew closer and closer. He came to stand next to him. He could sense its living presence, hear its breathing. It bent over him, involuntarily. He closed his eyes. Raced? Raceland! Raced! He felt cold fingers touch his burning flesh. Raced! In the name of the gods, what did they do to you? Caramon. Raceland spoke, but he couldn't hear his own voice. His throat was raw from coughing. I'm taking you out of here, his brother announced firmly. Raceland felt strong arms slip under his body. He smelled the familiar smell of sweat and leather, heard the familiar sound of armor creak and broadsword clang. No! In an effort to show his belief that he had failed to Caramon, Raceland pushed against his brother's massive chest with a frail, fragile hand. Leave me, Caramon. My tests are not complete. Leave me. Go on! Leave me. Caramon lifted him easily. His voice was an audible croak, then he gagged violently. Caramon lifted him, cradled him in his strong arms. Nothing is worse this. Rest easy, Raced, the big man choked. As they walked under a flickering torch, Raceland could see tears on his brother's cheeks. He made one last effort. They won't allow us to go, Caramon. He raised his head, gasping for breath. You're only putting yourself in danger. Let them come, Caramon said grimly. Walking with firm steps down the dimly lit corridor, Raceland sank back helpless, his head resting on Caramon's shoulder. He felt comforted by his brother's strength, though he cursed him inwardly. You fool! Raceland closed his eyes warily. You great stubborn fool. Now we'll both die, and of course you will die protecting me. Even in death I'll be indebted to you. Ah! Raceland heard and felt the sharp intake of breath in his brother's body. Caramon's walk had slowed. Caramon raised his head and peered ahead. A wraith! He breathed. Mm-hmm. Caramon rumbled deep in his chest, his battle cry. My magic can destroy it, Raceland protested as Caramon laid him gently on the stone floor. Burning hands, Raceland thought grimly. A weak spell against a wraith, but he had to try. Move, Caramon! I've just enough strength left. Caramon did not answer. He turned around and walked toward the wraith, blocking Raceland's view. Clinging to the wall, the conjurer clawed his way to a standing position and raised his hand. Just as he was about to expend his strength in one last shout, hoping to warn off his brother, he stopped and stared in disbelief. Karaman raised his hand. Where before he held a sword, now he held a rod of amber. In the other hand, his shield hand, he held a bit of fur. He rubbed the two together, spoke some magic words, and a lightning bolt flashed, striking the wraith in the chest. It shrieked, but kept coming, intent on draining Karaman's life energy. Karaman kept his hands raised. He spoke again. Another bolt sizzled, catching the wraith in his head. And suddenly there was nothing. I will get out of here, Karaman said with satisfaction. The rod and the fur were gone. He turned around. The door is just ahead. How did you do that? Raceland said, propping himself up against the wall. Karaman halted, alarmed by his brother's wild, frenzied stare. Do what? The fighter blinked. The magic! Raceland shrieked in fury. The magic! Oh, that. I've always been able to. Most of the time I don't need it. Well, my sword and all. But you're hurt real bad, and I've got to get you out of here. I don't want to take time fighting that character. Don't bother about it, Raced. It can still be your little specialty. Like I said before, most of the time, I don't need it. This is impossible. Raceland's mind told him. He couldn't have acquired in moments what it took years of study to attain. This doesn't make sense. Fight the sickness and the pain. Think! 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 But it wasn't the physical pain that clouded Raceland's mind. It was the old inner pain clawing at him, tearing at him. You always need your brother Raceland. You always need your brother Raceland. You're going to need Karaman. Always not good enough to be Karaman. You're not Karaman. You're not Karaman, Raceland. You're not Karaman. It was the old inner pain clawing at him, tearing at him with poisoned talons. Karaman, strong and cheerful, good and kind, open and honest, everybody's friend. Everybody's friend. Everybody likes Karaman. Not like Raceland, the runt, the sly one, the runt, the weakling, the rankling, the sly one. All I ever had was my magic. Raceland's mind shrieked. And now he has that too. See, Raceland is the perfect allegory for a lot of the way that the people feel about people, what they've done to D&D. He is every fucking grognard alive. Raceland Majir. He's got an axe to grind. I've been doing this for years. I paid my dues. And now these fucking sparkle trolls want to take my shit? The college jock wants to play D&D? Huh? How dare he? Okay. That's basically Raceland's view concerning how did he learn his magic. Same damn thing. Okay? Not like Raceland, the runt, the sly one. All I ever had was my magic, Raceland's mind shrieked, and now he has that too. Propping himself up against the wall for support, Raceland raised both his hands, put his thumbs together, and pointed them at Karaman. He began murmuring magic words, but different from those that Karaman had spoken. Raced! Karaman backed up. What are you doing? Come on, let me help you. I'll take care of you just like always, Raceland. I'm your brother. Raceland's parched lips cracked in a grin. Hatred and jealousy, long kept bubbling and molten beneath a layer of cold, solid rock, burst forth. Magic coursed through his body and flamed out of his hands. He was astonished as he watched the fire flare, billow, and engulf Karaman. When the fighter became a living torch, Raceland knew from his training that he was seeing simply could not be. The instant that he realized something was wrong with his occurrence, the burning image of his brother vanished. A moment later, Raceland lost consciousness and slumped to the ground. Awaken, Raceland. Your trials are complete. Raceland opened his eyes. The darkness was gone. Sunshine streamed through a window. He lay in a bed. Looking down at him was the wizard face of Par Salian. Why? Raceland rasped, clutching at the mage in fury. Why did you do this to me? Parsalian laid his hand on the frail young man's shoulder. The gods asked for a sword, Raceland, and now I can give them one. You. Evil is coming upon the land. The fate of all this world called Kryn swings in the balance. Through the aid of your hand and others, the balance will be restored. Raceland stared, then laughed, briefly and bitterly. Save Kryn. How? You shattered my body. I can't even see properly. He stared in terror. Yeah, I know what it's like to have my body shattered. Not be able to see? Yeah, he stared in terror. For as Raceland watched, he could see the mage's face, dying. Then when he turned his gaze to the window, the stones he looked at crumbled before his eyes. Wherever he looked, everything was falling into ruin and decay. Then the moment passed and his vision cleared. So he can control it. I always wondered about his vision. Is it time lapse photography? Is it like bullet time? Can he slow time down? Would that be like a special ability that Raceland has? I kind of wonder. You'll have to ask Margaret Weiss about that. Okay. Then the moment passed and his vision cleared. So, for as Raceland watched, he could see the mage's face dying. Then when he turned his gaze to the window, the stones he looked at crumbled before his eyes. Wherever he looked, everything was falling into ruin and decay. Then the moment passed and his vision cleared. Parsalian handed him a mirror. Raceland saw that his own face was sunken and hollow. His skin was a golden color now, with a faint metallic cast. This would be a symbol of the agony he had endured. But it was his eyes that caused him to recoil in horror, for the black pupils were no longer round. They were the shape of hourglasses. You see through hourglass eyes now, Raceland, and so you see time as it touches all things. You see death whenever you look on life. Thus, you will always be aware of the brief time span we spend in the world. Parsalian shook his head. There will be no joy in your life, Raceland, I fear. Indeed, little joy for anyone living on Kryn. Boy, that really sucks, man. Raceland laid the mirror face down. My brother? He asked, his voice barely a whisper. It was an illusion that I created. My personal challenge for you to look deeper into your own heart and examine the ways in which you deal with those closest to you. Parsalian said gently. As for your brother, he is here, safe, quite safe. Here he comes now. As Caraman entered the room, Raceland sat up, shoving Parsalian aside. Caraman appeared relieved to see that Raceland had enough energy to greet him, but Caraman's eyes reflected a certain sadness that comes from learning an unpleasant truth. I didn't think you would want to recognize the illusion for what it was, Parsalian said, but you did, after all. What magic user can work spells carrying a sword or wearing armor? See, so that's the D&D rule. You can't wear a sword or carry armor. That's how I knew he was bullshitting. Okay? Then I did not fail, Raceland murmured hoarsely. No, Parsalian smiled. The final of the test was the defeat of the Dark Elf. Truly superb for one of your experience. Raceland looked at his brother's haunted face, his averted eyes. He watched me and kill him, didn't he? He watched me kill him. Raceland whispered. Yes. Parsalian looked from one to the other. I'm sorry I had to do this to you, Raceland. You have much to learn, mage. Mercy, compassion, forbearance. It is my hope that the trials you face ahead of you will teach you what you lack now. If not, you will succumb in the end to the fate your master foresaw. But as of now, you and your brother truly know each other. The barriers between you have been battered down, though I'm afraid each of you has suffered wounds in the encounter. I hope the scars make you stronger. Parsalian rose to leave. Use your powers well, mage. The time is close at hand when your streak must save the world. Raceland bowed his head and sat in silence until Parsalian had left the room. Then he stood up, leaning on a wooden staff. He staggered and nearly fell. Caraman jumped forward. Raceland met his brother's eyes. Caraman faltered, stopped. Raceland sighed. For long moments there was no sound at all in the room. Then Raceland felt his strength begin to give way. Pain racked his body. He grew dizzy, shut his eyes to block the horrible vision. He held out his arms. Help me, brother, the mage whispered, weeping. Help me, Caraman. I'm here, Race. His brother's voice was near him, and his brother's arms were around him, supporting him. Forgive me. Both spoke together. Okay, now, the original ending, that is not what he said. The original ending, TSR did not like it, okay? So they made Margaret Weiss change it. Margaret Weiss has posted the original treatment that she did on Twitter. You'll have to go look it up or you can ask her about it. It was originally, it just said that he got up and started walking. He didn't take care of himself. He got up and he just started moving regardless of the pain. I know what it means to grit your teeth. The pain, okay? This story is a damn good allegory. I'll tell you that right now. I know what it's like for damn sure. The guy that introduced me to Dragonlance, Rayflin, was his character. Now, he was autistic and he had a chip on his shoulder. A lot of that, yeah, I see a lot of Rayflin in him. Pulled a goddamn butterfly knife on me, 12 years old. The man who introduced me to Dragonlance and D&D. But I see a lot of that in Rayflin. All of that. The price he had to pay. I think about the shit that I've gone through. You know, I've lost my eyesight. I'm blind in one eye. I can barely walk, you know, and then having to regain. Yeah, so I definitely know it for sure. I identify more with Tasslehoff than I do with Raceland, but I know Raceland's struggle. That's for damn sure. Because, you know, I know what it's like to have my eyes change. It's food for thought right there. Yeah, I definitely know what it's like to have my eyes change. Look in that eye right there. Yeah. I see time as it reflects all things. Yeah, buddy. All right, guys, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to come right back. We're going to play a little bit of Heroes of the Lance. I'll throw on a Dragonlance game, maybe Dragon Strike or something, and we'll have an all right time. We're going to smoke a little bit too. Okay? Go ahead and take your break, and we'll come on back. It's going to be a good show. All right? Thank you guys for tuning in. It's not over yet. All right? But I don't know if I'm going to get to a Stone's Throw Away. We're probably going to do that on another session, but we'll do this as a three-parter, I think. Okay? All right. Let's take a little bit of a break. Go ahead and get you something to drink, get you something to eat, go to the bathroom, stretch your legs, do whatever, and we'll come back here in a little bit. Okay? All righty. Let's go ahead and take a break. Mm.
All right, guys, we're back. All right, guys, we're back. Just had to take a quick break and get me something to eat so my blood sugar didn't drop. Take a real quick respite. There we go. There we go. Hey, there, you can see everything. All right, we're good, we're good. Okay, so I can talk to you. I know you can see the TV behind you, as usual, but it's all right, we good. All righty, guess what? I talked to Margaret Weiss on Twitter last night, and I found out something very interesting. Tasslehoffs' parents may or may have not been his birth parents. Okay? Grew up northern Ergoth. Now, you remember the premise about the kinder that became a Solamnic Knight? What if, and I mentioned this to Margaret Weiss, she actually put a like on the comment, I don't know, but what if Taz's daddy was a human who was raised by Kinder, who later became a Solamnic Knight? Think of where he's at in Ergoth, right at the outbreak of when the Knights have already fallen into disrepair. But can you imagine that kind of has a Mandalorian feel to it? Baby Taz, his daddy, being a human knight who was raised by Kinder. I'm thinking here, okay, remember my idea I had about a short story? You take Steve Martin's The Jerk and this movie right here. Margaret Weiss mentioned something about Jesse James. She likes wrestling. She likes Jesse James. She likes westerns, right? Little Big Man, excellent movie. Okay, can you imagine? Okay, a plainsman that was possibly adopted by Kinder, adopted and raised by Kinder. Think of the Indian angle, okay? Have it be a plainsman child was adopted and raised by Kinder. He becomes a Solamnic Knight, becomes Tasslehoff's daddy. Okay? He raised Tasslehoff. How's that for an idea? Nobody's written it yet, but they always talked about the Kinder that became a Solamnic Knight. Think of the movie The Jerk. Okay? He was raised by black folks. It's a comedy, but it's funny. This is a comedy, but it's still sad in some places. But still, two very good movies. Dustin Hoffman, Little Big Man. Okay? I'm thinking up here. Okay? I also wrote out Astrid Damaris's character card. I sure as shit did. I got to get the picture added to it from last night, but I got it. Yep. Yep. Okay, I'm going to take me a smoke. And then we'll fire up a game of some sort. I will do War of the Lance eventually. It's just that War of the Lance is a strategy game. It's bare bones. It's a fucking snake. I don't understand it. I don't even know how to play it. I've looked through the manual. It is definitely it is a strategy game. Um, I might pull it up. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering what I'm gonna pull up. Man, I got so much good stuff on DOSBox, man. I could pull up Indiana Jones. Tons of Dragonlance games. The Dark Queen of Korean. I thought about pulling that up. but I got to run it, and I got to get out the manuals for it. It's a little slow. I don't know. I prefer the Dragonlance action games. Now, we had discussed an arcane magic system for mages for AD&D Second Edition that makes it actually feel a little bit more complex. That makes you actually feel like a spellcaster. Whereas we made spellcasters have an attack roll just like in a fighter, and they have a dice pool, almost akin to Shadowrun. So it compounds, or the spell success depends on the dice pool, okay, and the effects. And basically, before you cast each spell, okay, at the beginning of the session, your DM draws 3 symbols along with 3 phrases, okay, just 3 simple words, whatever. You mix them up mid-deck, and you draw them, okay. You, as a player, if you're a mage, you're supposed to memorize those. The DM writes those down for that particular spell, and you keep the symbols and the phrase memorized, okay, for your spell. When it comes time to do your spell, you do the attack roll, you make the parameters, and then he looks on his sheet. You don't get to keep the cards. He gives you this little symbol sheet, and it uses memory, okay, memorization. So you actually, and it has a payoff to it, but it actually makes you work for the spell casting, okay. I discussed it on my Twitter. Me and I think some other people had been talking about that, an alternate spell casting thing for mages. That way you're not sitting around with your thumb up your ass, depending on initiative time, when you could actually do something that actually makes you feel like a fucking spellcaster. I mean, it would be really cool. Yeah, match symbols to phrases. Do fuss roo da, and then fuss ro da, and then like have to do 3 symbols or whatever. And then after you cast the spell, the DM, he mixes that fucking order and shit up. So he changes the symbols and everything on it. So you have to memorize it and everything. You have to relearn it. Okay. But basically that's role playing as a mage. Makes you a little bit more powerful. Okay. Requires memory for your class. But, think about it. If you have like a dice pool, when you go to roll a dice pool, it's how strong your spell is, or the effects of the spell. There can be some stuff there that you could work with that could make being a mage very interesting. You could work that system up, be a little bit more than just, because Raistlin as a character, I'm telling you, man, he takes one fucking hit, he's done. But he's got the Staff of Magius with him, so it actually bumps his armor class up a little bit. There's his damn stat. I'd have to pull it up here. Let's see here. Do. Let me put this back together. Can't believe I did this. I got these mixed up. I do this every damn time. Okay. I'm assuming this is okay. This stays together. This is stone's throw away. I got this. Got this. There it is. So no, it was like 2 pages. Test of the Twins was roughly, it was just 2 pages. This whole thing is like 2 pages long. Well, it's front and back, but still, it's maybe 4 pages, but I printed it out different from what it was on the... But I found this on Internet Archive. Dragon Magazine. They've got just about every single friggin' issue of Dragon on there, okay? We're talking tons that you can read in PDF form, okay? I don't have enough rank to print that shit out, okay? I just printed out the short story. That was it. But, yeah, Internet Archive is where I found it. Yep. I love Internet Archive. Look, if WotC is doing this shit, I implore all of you Dragonlance fans to get as much second edition stuff as you can possibly get. And I don't want to hear that shit. Don't be a fucking child. Buy and play what you want. Look, it's kind of like voting. His foreign policies suck and his domestic policies suck, but if he offers an ice cream, I might vote for him. Okay? I'd rather fucking vote for what I don't want, vote for what I want and not get it, than vote for what I don't want and do get it anyway. So, no. I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter to me. I will buy whoever's got the best price. Okay? I bought my stuff 30 years ago. Simple as that. I am not a child. I will not burn a bridge to avoid a mud puddle. It's just stupid. It's silly, it's asinine, and it's unprofessional. I'm sorry. I still consider myself, granted, I'm not getting paid for any of this, but I consider myself a professional. They're good people, I want to believe, that work at WotC. There's a lot of assholes, but like I said, I don't have to go home with them. Give everybody 2%, okay? Remember my 2% principle, okay? You don't have to take windy walks with them. You're going to work with people that you don't like your whole life. You're going to run into people that you don't like that are complete assholes. Doesn't matter. Remember, people like Ted Nugent, I cannot stand Ted's politics, but he's a damn good guitar player. Give everybody 2%. You can find common ground on one thing. The rest of it, fuck them. I don't give a damn what somebody's got to say about it. And their aesthetic, it doesn't matter to me. You don't have to fit the same aesthetic that I do to be able to enjoy Dragonlance, okay? And if you do, guess what? I'm sorry. You're going to have a hard time, okay? It's just like when I'm at somebody's table, okay? If I'm at your table, it doesn't matter what I know about Dragonlance, okay? It's your table, okay? Doesn't necessarily make it right. Doesn't necessarily make it wrong. It just makes it different, okay? Now, there are some certain aesthetics that we are very solid on, but it's at my table, okay? Like I said, I can do what I want to do at my table, all right? Keep that in mind at all times, all right? All right, guys. I'm a proselytizing to you. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What we gonna do, what we gonna do, what we gonna do. We're gonna get another whop of this Swede, and then we're gonna play some games. Alright. For Twitch here in a minute, I'm gonna adjust and adjust the game parameter, so when you look on it, you can look on the chapter switch. I've noticed it does that. If you'll switch the game and reset it when you go to switch, you can search for it by chapter, so I can actually section these streams by chapters. It did it on one of my other ones. Pretty cool. I like this. I like Twitch. I like the format. I like using Twitch just as good as I do YouTube. I seem to have a little bit better quality and clarity as opposed to my YouTube streams. My YouTube streams are fucking garbled as shit. But each to his own. I do what I need to do to get by. I'm still putting it on YouTube, like I said. So there you go. All right. Man, I whop this damn thing until I get right. Okay? I whop it till I get right. Watch him shake his little candy rice. Watch him do a little dance. He's barefoot through and through. He's a hero of the Lance. Watch him shake his candy rice. Watch him do a little dance. He's barefoot through and through. He's a hero of the Lance. I'm just being silly. Tin Hut, little Kinder Tin Hut. Draconians are on your butt. Kitty R's a slut, but I'll tell you what. Tin Hut, little Kinder Tin Hut. Is Kitty R a slut? Me think so. She is a big hoe. She my kind of hoe. Kitty R is sexy, but like I said, she's still kind of a hoe. She a ho ho ho. In the Santa Claus sense. I don't know. I mean, that is kind of sexist, ain't it? You know? She just happened to be a woman that didn't take no shit. She was her own woman. She didn't give a flying fuck. Okay? Let's be clear about that, okay? Guys, I make a lot of fucking jokes about Kitty Yara, but the character in itself was a very solid character. Okay? I goof a lot on Kitty Yara. You know, but yeah, she's, short hair. Damn. Come on, man. I love the short sweeties. Don't ever discount me on Rubenesque women, buddy boy. Especially the tough ones. Hmm. Something about them tomboys, they screw real good. I know. I'm sorry. I ought to behave. All right, guys. We're going to take a real quick respite here so I can get ready to switch the game over. What it does, it just puts what game that we're running. I'm going to pick one out, and we're going to run it. Okay? Stay tuned. Okay, hold on just a second. We're going to set me that right here. That'll work. I think I can sit right there for a minute. Let me go to be right back. We're going to go down here. We're going to I gotta find the son of a bitch first. Yeah, what the hell? We'll pull up damn Heroes of the Lance. It don't bother me a bit. Hold on just a minute. Okay. And then I think I'm gonna fire at both of them, so that'll be fine. Okay, there we go. Let's get back on this baby. Let me pull up GOG again. Fucking bullshit. I hate having to do this all the fucking time. It is such a fucking pain in the butt. Should we do Shadow or should we do Here's Lance? Yeah, we're gonna do Here's the Lance. Fuck it. We're waiting here just a second. You're to get its fucking shit together. Come on, dude. I ain't got all fucking day for this shit. Fucking assholes. Come on, you fucks. Hold on just a second here, guys. We'll get it here in a minute. As soon as it quits being a fucking dick, we'll figure it out. There it goes. I think we got it, finally. It just took a minute. And I see it advance on my screen here off 9. There it goes. Okay. We're ready to roll, guys. There is Raceland. Man, look at the graphics on this damn thing, man. The Amiga one has a little bit better illustrations on it. I would like to give this thing a graphical facelift, and they could do it. They could take and just put a graphical facelift over top of it. You take the original pictures from the paintings and you replace it with those pictures. Okay? Right there. You just take now with the technology now, you could just put those and you could cell shade it and you could just put it over the skeleton of this game. Oh God, that would be so fucking cool. Oh my God, that would be so cool. It would be fucking sweet. I'm telling you, man. Be absolutely fucking brilliant. Watch him shake his little ass. Watch him do a little dance. He's barefoot through and through. He's a hero of the Lance. Now, was that not the shit? That's how you do it. I like to do that. That is just fucking sweet. Actually, you can just go detect invisible. That'll detect anything that's laying on the ground. And see? That knife over there, the detect invisible over there, that's where the knife's at. See there? Okay, now we got to detect a trap here. To do that, you got to move Gold Moon up here. I don't really want to do that, but whatever. We'll just have her cast it as a spell. See, she can hit the enter button, and then there you go. And see, both track triggers are revealed. Now, you can go and get Tasslehoff. There you go. And Taz can walk right up and disarm the trap because he knows where the shit's at. There he goes. It's that one. And I'm guessing where he saw the other one, he'll should get the other one. I'm hoping it won't trigger it. There he goes. He saw it. Okay, that's cool. And looky there. Okay. We'll get Flint's axe. You can give it to Flint. There you go. There you go, Flint. There's your axe back. Hit space. Hit T. You can go to T. Hit take. The red potion. That sounds good. Okay, exit. The red potion slows your enemies down. It's handy in the next room. Okay, it certainly is. Let's see here. You want a web spell, and if I'm thinking correctly, oh shit. Yeah, you still want to use red, but you want to slow the enemies down. I want to say that I want to try to use Raceland, but I don't want to get him fucking killed either. Oh shit. Alright. And I still ain't figured out who uses the hunting knife yet. I'm gonna pick it up. I have no clue who can use it. Because you can select it, but I don't think he uses it. See? Hitting enter and down, well, no. In combat will cause him to duck. See right there? Okay, now, what I can do here, that is a duck thing, but I want to use the pouch. He doesn't use a hunting knife. I don't know how, I guess he's not the one for it. By God, he uses a hoopak. Uh-oh. How rude. Ted bust him in the face with a friggin' stone. He got stoned. Literally. I ain't figured out the knife either. I don't know if it's the hunting knife. I don't know who would use it, to be quite honest. Oh! Damn, I just killed Raceland. There was a trap there, and Tasslehoff didn't see it. Poor Raceland. Boy, he didn't fucking catch a break on that shit. How fortuitous did that happen to him? That sucks. Poor Raceland. Shit. He got hit. Man, Tannis got hit in the book. Alright. Okay. Yes. Alrighty. Let's see here. I'm gonna turn my damn phone on. Oh. Hey, I just got a like from Margaret Weiss. I told her about, where I'd worked at Wolf Creek. Yep. Makes my day. Ha ha. See there. Stuff like that. Who in the world would be so damn childish to tell somebody, well, I'm not going to buy your books because everything don't be a freaking child. Some of you all need to grow up. I'm sorry, but you do. You're adults. Buy and play what you want. You know what? If you want to play 5th edition, I don't care even as the policy of what's happening, what's going on. You are an adult. You buy and play what you want. You read what you want. This is the United States of America, and we can do that. And that's capitalism. You understand? That's what makes this country great. We're allowed to consume whatever the hell we want. Okay? We paid our money. We paid our taxes. Leave us the fuck alone. Okay? And I'm not even political. But that's about as libertarian as you can get right there. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to prepare the spell. This was it. Well, no, I can't do this. What, right out the door? It's not a good idea to do this. It's not a good idea to do this. Keep Raceland in the party, and you might want to use the scroll, but let's see here. Hold on just a second. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. All right, watch this. You got to be careful how you do this, but okay. Here's what we do. Use red potion, the monster spirit to slow down, right? Go to magic user. I'm going to use a web spell. That'll take care of the one in the front, right? Okay. And then we're going to go hero select. We're going to bring Raceland up to the front of the party. We're going to. Oh, I hope that works well. Well, actually, go to exit menu first and see what happens. Oh shit. Well, all right, we gotta. Oh shit. Well, let's just go see if he can throw out some webs. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, but hell, that still slowed him down. Look at that. The potion slowed him down. It's like a hold person or something. I don't know. Damn it. Well, Raceland could have fucking shit. If that was the case, Raceland would have been all right. There we go. And I could put all of them in a web and then just have Tannis finish them all off. Yeah, you can do that. And that's just to get past them. Mm-hmm. We use as many spells as we can. Oh, nice. Give him the coup de grace, Cameron. Let Cameron get some. Put him in the wall, Cameron. There we go. Dum 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 dum. That's why the Heroes of the Lance is so motherfucking badass. Watch him shake his little ass. Watch him do a little dance. He's barefoot through and through. He's a hero of the Lance. Motherfucker's kicking the shit out of me. Bastard. I know, it's bad. They want you to be mean to the fucking gully dwarf, but shit. I guess you can use a charm spell on him if you can hit him with it. That's basically what it was intended for. That's basically what it's for. The charm spell is to stop the agar from fucking with you. But you gotta hit it in time to be able to use it. If you don't, you're fucking screwed. Raceland is usually not a good one to be running around with because he will get hit. And if he gets hit, you're fudged. I mean, it's not normally. Your best bet's probably to have Tasslehoff at the front of the party. Gold Moon and Raceland are your workhorses. They're pretty much the ones who do most of the work. Taz, of course, is melee and he can disarm traps. That's what he does. Shit. Boom. There you go. That's so cool. I just love the way that they've animated this damn thing. I mean, he actually jumps. Look at that shit. And they his top knot. His top knot blows in the breeze when he runs. I mean, they put some thought into that game. This game was an absolute gem. Of all the Dragonlance, this thing is definitely a forgotten fucking gem, man. I don't care what anybody says about it, but it is. It really is. Make the Kinder drink it. I wonder who you would use the hunting knife. You think maybe Riverwind? I would think Riverwind would. In all honesty. Oh, look at there. Shit. Right, what do I do? Uh-oh. Well, them's taken care of. You cannot go across that, I don't believe. Matter of fact, I know damn well you cannot go across that. And no, it will not take you down to the lower level. I don't think. I've never seen it happen. I always thought that maybe the Raceland might be able to do it, but no, you don't. I have no clue how it works. I ain't never seen it work. Yeah, and if you fall off, you just end up going, whoa! That's a fucking troll. I hate trolls. They have no souls. And they're fucking assholes. We're gonna burn a troll. Alright, that's enough. You probably done used half your fucking staff spell doing that shit. Touch him not, he is magi. Hmm. One way goes west, one way goes east. See, I don't know how accurate it is to Zaxaroth as far as the map. That is anybody's guess. Oh shit. No, no, no. What are you doing? You get your head out of your ass is what you need to do. Okay, you need to use... I don't know if you can use the hunting knife or not. I guess I can try it, but... I don't see shit, really. Oh, nice! Tried to cast a spell, but it couldn't. Because I kicked its fucking ass. See, it didn't get us. Oh, get him, Raceland. Now, he walked right across there. I don't know if you can do that, but he sure as shit did. No, you try to go across it, you'll fall. We're near the waterfall. Now, see? It's almost like right here you would hand her the damn staff. See, I swear to God. It's the damn statue. See, that's the optimum build right there that you want. And away we go. Oh, shit. Yeah. And as usual, we run right into a damn agar. Motherfucker's gonna hurt me. Don't do something quick. Bastard. Well, some bitch wouldn't leave me alone. Oh, you fucking would, you asshole. Son of a fucking bitch. That's fucking dirty. Look at that shit. I forget that one explodes. Fuck. Fucking ass. A whack to the cheek. And they'll have a cool drink. Oh, the waterfall. I always figure if I can make it to the waterfall, I've done good, because the rest of the time you spend, you just dying. Pretty much. Oh, boy, y'all. All right, y'all. It's been a damn good stream. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. And if I do get back on, I'll stream again. I'll see what this looks like. And if I want to, I'll get on and we'll read again. And I'll stream again. And we'll keep doing this. It's all good, y'all. All right. All you Dragonlance fans out there, make your content. Doesn't matter what's going on right now. You got 30 years worth of stuff. Okay? It's all there. It's all compatible with whatever the hell that you want to use. Okay, guys? It doesn't matter what edition you want to play. Okay? You can play Saga, which is 5th edition. You can play 5th edition. You can play Saga. You can read 5th Age. Whatever, guys. Dragonlance, it's okay. All right? My personal recommendation is get the 2nd edition stuff. Okay? 2nd edition. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition. That's all you got to remember about Dragonlance. Some people prefer Advanced Dungeons and Dragons before 2nd edition. The Dragonlance did exist before 2nd edition. But 2nd edition was largely Steve Winter's baby anyway. The guy that wrote Wanderlust, okay, notice his name on there? Well, he was one of the architects of the original Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, 2nd edition. So, the TSR product line. Remember this, guys? Show you. Like a Spelljammer. Oh, that shit. Yep, there's all the Dragonlance. Ravenloft, yeah. Most of this stuff, I haven't found that. I used to own that. It's about $300 now. Now, granted, it's not. You can still get it off a drive-through, I think, on PDF form. But most of this stuff, like I said, it's long out of print. But you can find it on either drive-through or Internet Archive. I would look on Internet Archive, to be quite honest. If it's bothering you so damn much to buy, which you can bet if that happens, they're going to take them off of there. So you better They ain't going to let that money go. Okay, what was I looking for? Oh, I know what I was looking for. Well, that's David Zeb Cook on that one. Development, Steve Witter and John Pickens. Warren Spector. Cover illustration, Jeff Easley. Okay. Look at all these people here. Okay. Wonder if I know if any of these people are still alive. Pretty sure they are. If you are, leave a comment later on. I'd like to hear from you. Any of you old TSR people, like I said, hell, even Margaret, I don't mind. Y'all want to get a hold of me and ask me a question or something, or let me ask y'all a question. I don't know. I'm not going to be up your butt about it, like I said. I tend to leave people the hell alone. We don't have to take windy walks, and we don't have to agree on 100% of everything. You know, if you like Dragonlance or Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, or you just like a good story, hell, there's nothing wrong with that. Like video games, shit. Hell, I like tacos. But it doesn't really matter, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're tuning in, it means a lot, that's for sure, because I do this pretty much as a labor of love. I don't get paid for it. I'm just showing off the stuff that I bought 30 years ago. And so now I'm just a big kid. I'm getting to do what I want before I don't have the chance to do it. I don't have any eyesight left, and I can barely walk. But right now, I'm doing what I want to do. Been wanting to do this since I was 12 years old, man. I'll tell you that right now. 14-year-old me is just absolutely ecstatic. All right, y'all. This is Engine Joe. Y'all be good. The waterfall has cured some of your wounds. Y'all be good. And we'll holler at you a little bit later. Okay? All righty. There we are. Yep. See, look at that. Yeah, if I didn't give a shit about Dragonlance or any of these people, do you think I would have the shit on my wall? Huh? All that on my wall? On my bookshelves? All over? I drove my friends nuts over Dragonlance in the past 30 years, okay? I got a knife pulled on me by the man who had introduced me to it when he became a born-again Christian, okay? First fight I ever got into, I was reading a copy of Dragons of Winter Night when I got busted in the head with a basketball, okay? So, there you go. We got a little bit of a history there. Be good, guys. It's for the love of Dragonlance. I'm Engine Joe. Roll on. Wait just a minute. I'm going to save the damn thing. All right, I'll do that. Now, can I close it? Thank you. I can't end the stream until I do. All right, y'all. Be good. We'll holler at you later. Roll on.